Hello everyone. I see we have a few takers tonight. Just wait till I come online. There's that usual delay. I'm gonna wait for you guys to come on and let me know that everything is working and that you get the sound as well, that you can hear me properly. Thanks everyone for joining. I see we have already 8 people queuing up. Good to see you. Sorry, a little short notice for this stream, but I just got a day off there from the lodge and I have a bit of time, so I said I'll make a quick one. I have new people arriving in a day or so, so let's do a quick little live stream and keep the thing going. All right. Oh, loud and clear. Thank you, Dirk. Thanks for confirming. So, hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody can. Maybe it's close season where you are. I know depends where you are now. It can be close season or open season. Here we're lucky to have open season all year round. And yeah, fishing, it's been good this year. Surprisingly good, even with change of weather. We're still hitting numbers, and this week the clients has been hitting good size fish as well. So we'll see what the next group brings. We're arriving nearly mid-April, so interesting to see now. Things are settling. They finished spawning in most places, so we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, it's looking like a good year. I can't wait to get out myself, so I'm getting gear ready. I'm gearing up that new Decathlon float tube. So teaser campaign, I think if it's still good, it's coming on the month of May, so you're going to be able to start to see some videos of that float tube, some pictures on Instagram. I'll be putting quite a few, and yeah, I'm looking forward to be able to share it with you, because it's an awesome tube. I've been using it for a good bit, and I can't wait to get back on it and have more fun for the end of the spring and this summer. So a few of the clients have used it, sat on it, and tried it, and yeah, it's all positive. Everybody's happy with it. So what next? Yeah, let's tie this fly. So the usual, you saw the other day, I started to get into this wiggle disc from those action discs, sorry, from Wiggle Fin. I'm just enjoying them. I like a different product and try to come up with different flies and see what I can do, even if it's not intended for fly tying. Sometimes we can find things that are as good as any other product that's been designed for fly tying. So it's always nice to think out of the box and try to put this practice and this piece of equipment and designs into some flies. So yeah, wiggle disc. I used quite a few in front of my flies. I found that you really need a really loose articulation for them to start kicking. I'd like to try the size just below. The guy from Wigglefin sent me some samples there, but I got the 2 bigger size, and I know they do a smaller size as well, so I wouldn't like to try a smaller size than that. This is the size 2. I think the big size. Hello, Nino. Big size is size 3, so yeah, I'd like to try the size 1. But different flies, instead of putting at the front, I decided to go differently. Yes, it would be an option to make a video, but sometimes it's hard on my own. I'm on the float tube, so you don't really get the action of the fly, because I'm kind of trolling it along the float tube and trying to put the GoPro underneath. So you don't really get a good a real action if you want so, because it's a kind of a hard to film when you're on your own on the float tube. I'd like somebody to be able to follow me and give it some strips, because usually that's when these things kind of start kicking, is when you give them a good sharp strip. And I find that if I try to film them under the float tube, I don't really get their original swim, their original action. So it kind of spoils it. So that's why sometimes I try to film them under the float tube, and I'm a bit disappointed. So yeah, I need to expand, and I need more subscribers, and start employing a cameraman following me around. That'll be good. Same thing with the fly tester. I feel they just have a single flow, and it's okay for like salmon flies that are in a flow of a river or something, you want to test something like that. But when it's a pike fly, you do see some movement, but you don't get that movement that you're going to get when you start stripping on the line. So it's not 100% accurate depiction of the action of the flies, especially for pike. So yeah, I tried to do something different this time. I have another one there that I used where I reversed the cone, so it's kind of facing front side like this. That's interesting because it's working well and it's pushing a lot of water. But the one I did, yeah, I had quite a few people interested about those. I suppose they're kind of nice and flashy. So these are the kind of crayfish imitation with the wiggle disc at the front. So the idea is that the wiggle disc is kicking this rubber leg and kicking the back of the fly when you strip on it. So to have maximum action on this, I'm actually putting the wiggle disc onto a piece of fluorocarbon, so it's nice and supple. So when you strip, you're gonna have the water that's gonna slim the fibers on the fly, because it's nice and spongy there. There's a bit of a bounce for the volume, but the water is going to squeeze it a little bit, and it's going to leave that disc nice and open to take the water and start doing its crazy things, its crazy actions. So put a bit of a fire belly on it just to change a bit, something different, something fun to fish. I mean, possibilities are endless, really. When you start going into this kind of thing, it's fun. Maybe bribe a guest to film. Yeah, I'd like to bribe a guest. I need to have time. I need to put some time on the water with someone that can film me. That'd be good. Like I'm trying. I'm trying. I might do some collab with some other people. So I see what might happen. So might do an exchange, like an exchange student with other people from different part of the world. Come and see me, I go and see them. So it's all in the air at the moment, but there's things happening anyway. A quick different one, I put that on Instagram not too long ago. These are kind of a bait fish like this, and for the tail I put the wiggle disc at the back with a big skirt, silicone skirt. So same thing, slim body and a really free moving disc at the back to get really a good kicking. Not too complicated as well, not too complicated to tie. So another thing I wanted to talk to you before I start tying the crayfish. It's I get a lot of people asking me, like, they are too bulky, they're a bit stupid because they look like a lure, or how do you cast those? What you have to understand is that I don't design this type of flies to be cast, to cast them all day long, or to do a 30-meter cast. These are definitely not made for it or intended for that. Like if I have a strong headwind, I'm not going to pull that out of the box and decide, yeah, this is the fly I need to fish. So that's why we have a big array of flies, and some are to cast far and long, and some like this are made just to short cast. I usually even water load these ones. I like fishing them from the raft on a river where you don't need a really long cast to get to the next bank. If you've followed some of the last few streams, you know that I quite often talk about that circle of awareness. that means like how far around you the fish start feeling your presence and start spooking. So obviously if you're standing on a big aluminium boat and you drop something at the bottom, or you arrive with your big engine, fish are going to feel you and hear you from a long way away. If you arrive discreetly, which is most of my fishing, because I either way like to fish on when I'm fly fishing, either it's the float tube or for the raft, these are really, really, really quiet ways of fishing. If you handle them well, you can get pike really close to them. And I had pike refuse the fly and actually gone under the float tube for protection, just to hide. So they really don't feel afraid about the float tubes if you come with a discreet approach. So that's why I usually like to come near some nice pike smelling hole. Could be a sunken tree, could be a patch of weed or something that I see. Approach it nice and quiet, start casting on the outside of it without making too long of a cast. No need to tire yourself. See how far you can cast those big things, and then slowly approach the area that you want to fish. Keep quiet and you'll be able to use big city flies like this, no problem for pike. But it's all again that circle of awareness. You want to sneak in on them to use these flies, and it's good fun. It's really good fun when you see these big things hitting the water and you give it a few strips and you get a big fish or even a small fish hitting them. It's fun to do. So all right, no comments coming. I'm just, if you have any questions, fire them away. By the way, thank you to everyone, last subscribers. We had a good jump since the last live stream. We're, what are we, with 2,887 now, so not so bad. We're getting there. Keep pushing. Like I said, if you watch more than one of my videos, no reason why not. You shouldn't subscribe. Thanks again at the few guys and girls who purchased some things from the merch store on Streamlabs here. So thanks for that. I see some t-shirts gone out, some tumblers, hoodies. So thank you very much for whoever done the purchase there this week. Hey Doc, how you doing? Thank you, Doc. Doc has been a long subscriber. I see his membership sign is turned to red, so that's you're one of the oldest one, and thank you very much for supporting the channel that way. So usual, try to push this, but I don't like asking, but it seems to work when you ask people. Squeeze that like button, because that's gonna help for that video to be shared to a lot more pike fishermen or other kind of fishermen, so can help other people just by clicking like, and spreads the word. So I want to start tying that big boy, so there's a couple of bits we need to do. It's water, huh? Don't worry. All right, we're gonna set up the disc first at the front. We're gonna make the eyes, and then we're ready to tie it. So the nice thing about the wiggle disc is that with this tie you don't have to do anything to it. It's kind of made for it. I'll show you why. So this is the wiggle disc, and you see you have a nice part there, nice and solid, where you can slide in anything that you want on it. So could be a silicone skirt. I mean, you can tie some feathers if you want to. You can tie some flash if you want to make it lighter. You don't have to go with a big heavy silicone skirt. You can tie anything onto that little bit here. So just on that little bit here, put some thread, put some glue, and you can tie whatever you want. The one thing I like about the silicone skirt is that you can change them, and they're in turn, once they get busted, all you have to do is just push a new one over the top, and they just sit there and stay there. And they actually stick really well. So it really takes a really hard pulling to get them off. So that's just the one with the legs and the claws, but you can use just a normal silicone skirt like this. And do the same. Push it over. And that's it. You got a different disc with a different skirt like that. All these kind of skirts and things like that, I usually do an order once a year. I like browsing a little bit on lureparts.com. I mean, they have so many things, and sometimes I buy things just because they look alright, or I like them. Like these ones, I have them for about maybe 2 years now. Yes, yeah, Dirk, yeah. These skirts are ready made with the claws. So, like I said, I get them on lureparts.com, and they are like really cheap. Even if you pay the VAT or the duty or whatever coming to your country, it's still a lot cheaper than to buy anything around Europe at the moment for lure making. And you get a much bigger choice as well. So that's where I get all my skirts like that. And sometimes I get one big box a year. And like I said, I have things I never use, and one day, yeah, they might just become handy. There's different ones. There's white ones. There's pumpkin seed ones. I really like those ones. And different designs as well. You get some with flash and everything. Hey Chris, thanks for joining, man. So what we're going to do, we're going to just push that onto the disc, and we're going to get some thick mono. This is 0.8 mil diameter, or it's like 75 pound fluorocarbon. It's the only good thing for fluorocarbons to do these things. Okay, so your bit of fluorocarbon, we're going to push it through the disc onto the other side. And now to stop it from coming out, you can do two things. You can put either way a clevis on top or a crimp, and crimp it like that. It won't move because the hole is kind of a large that you have on this size. So you want to block the fluorocarbon not to slip. So crimping is a good idea. You can cut the crimp if it's too long after, but that kind of works. I crimp that. Cut the excess. I can even shorten that crimp after, once it's crimped. So I just have it here. And now to have a big bit sticking out, I'm just gonna cut it in half. Less material the better. There you go. So I have just a little bit like this. And that's just sitting like that. That's it. Super simple. Alright, so we're going to the front part now. Done. We're going to do quickly the eyes. So I tie quite a few sometimes crayfish looking things for pike, and I always like making eyes, especially I've been doing them like for saltwater fishing. It's fun to make, but for pike all I use is same thing. We'll go back to a piece of hard mono or fluorocarbon, and I just use a bead, whatever color you want of a bead. So because the hole in the bead is a little bit narrower, all I do, I'm gonna shroom the fluorocarbon. I'm just gonna burn it and flatten it. That's it. So now it's stopping the bead from coming off. And just to hold it in place. Now the funny thing is, some beads it doesn't take with super glue. I tried with super glue and it just doesn't dry. I don't know if it's the two plastic that don't agree with the super glue. So all I do is just here to stop it, I put a little bit of UV resin and zap it with the light. So I just put just a drop of UV resin around the base, turn it around, get it nice and even, and then we just zap it. That's it. Got an eye nice and solid now. So I'm going to put the other one on the other side. Do the same. Burn the end. Shroom it. Flatten it. A dot of UV resin. Spin it around. We just zap it. There you go. So we got our eyes done. You can cut it in the middle. That's it. The nice thing is that you can use the curvature of the spool to have your eyes sitting at a nice angle. It's already there, made for you. So that's kind of handy. All right, onto the hook. So for these, I like jig hook, and especially the one with a 60-degree. So for this, I am using the Universal from Partridge of Redditch Predator X. Kind of like this one, a little bit stiffer wire. They can take a lot of punishment, these ones. Good strong hooks. Alright, just checking questions. All good? All good. Alright, I'm going to change the camera to device now. Enough of my face. Alright, yes, that's much better. I'm just gonna put a little bit of weight at the back just to make it sit properly and just to sink with its butt first down the water. Bring that back forward. Bring it well forward, just before the bend. Now we're going to be able to tie on the skirt onto it. Same thing, you have a natural curve of the monofilament like this. Just like to put it like that. Now don't worry about the distance at the back. We're just going to do a few loose wraps just to hold it in place. Okay. And now we can play with the distance. Another tip: when you put your mono on top of the shank, just hold it with your finger, a slight little squeeze, and it's gonna sit that mono right on top and stop it from sliding on one side or the other of the shank. So, and then we're gonna glue it in place. Wait a little bit till it sticks. Okay, so for this, all we want, when you strip, to get a lot of water to touch that disc. Just checking if it's in focus. Struggling with the focus here. Speaking that thing. Alright, better. Focus is back. Okay. So yeah, I was saying we need to get as much water to flow and hit that disc to create what it's intended to do. So get that wiggle, erratic wiggle from different angle. But we don't want it too far back. Okay, so we're gonna play a bit, and I like to have it about that far from it. So one shank of the hook just back, about that, one length of your straight shank onto the back, depending on your hook. Too long as well, what might happen is that it might wrap around as well when you're casting. That can be a bit of a pain, because definitely you're going to lose some of the action there if that happens. All right. Good layer of super glue. I'll let it dry a bit. Give it a few minutes or a few seconds. Spread all that glue everywhere, gets it wet into the threads. Excellent. All right, now it's pretty easy from now on. I like to use a little bit of marabou now, just for a filler. That's not going to be too bulky, and once it's going to be wet, it's not going to block the water flow onto the disc. And the good thing is, like, marabou always swims really well as well. It moves fairly nice. Trying to get back into the focus. Thank you. Alright, for the marabou, I'm gonna go with a black marabou, or whatever color you want to make your crawdaddy. So for this, I'm just going to use two medium marabou, two small marabou. I'm not going to palmer it around the hook shank. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to get the feather like this, and I'm going to pull all the feathery bits to the front. I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to just tie it like this, okay? Holding it, hold all the feathers, and one on each side. So one on each side. And again, just measure so it arrives just at your disc, okay? All right, that's one side. And do the same with the second one. All right, next step, we're going to stick the eyes now. See, I'm not missing too many questions. We're good. All right. So the eyes, again, use the curvature that you have on the eyes formed by the hard mono. Again, few wraps, and then you can play with them and put them in the right position. Music to my ears. The Fillet 13. Thank you very much. The Fillet 13. I like your name. Sounds gangsta. Fillet 13. West Side. Thanks for your sub. Much appreciated. Oh, there you go. 2 eyes on each side, easy peasy. I'm not going to cut them too tight. I'm going to bring them a little bit more back so that we get a good hold on them, and we're not gonna lose them. Nothing worse to have your eyes coming off. Your fly just not going to look the same after. If you want your eyes to stick out a little bit more like this, it's enough for me and I have nothing to do. But if you do want, you can figure eight at the back of the eye and pull them back a bit and put the thread at the back like that a few times. But I'm pretty happy the way they're sitting at the moment. Nice and high, nicely spread, so happy with that. Now I'm going to start another layer of glue here. Get a good strong base. That's a fly that's going to last a long time as well. Like even the marabou, you'd be surprised. I know marabou is fragile, but it's a kind of protected between the eyes and the disc here, so it should last a good bit. Well, after it's fairly easy because we're just going to stack some Congo fiber and trim them. So it's nothing complicated. Same on the white one. That's just stacked Congo fiber and trimmed after. That's the way I like tying a lot of my flies. All right, we're going to go with the original that I made. So we're going to go black, and I think this is either way root beer or burnt orange. I don't know, but it's a nice darker orange. I kind of like it. So the usual, get a nice little chunk of Congo hair. Okay, see how much I have there. I'm going to cut the full length. And that full length we're going to cut it in 3 parts. 3 equal parts. Now for the first layer, we're going to just tease the Congo hair so we don't have any straight cuts, because one thing we hate is definitely straight cuts. We want a nice profile. Now be careful not to put too much Congo hair, because you don't want it to kind of drown the marabou. So make sure it's not too long. As you can see, it's not too bad here. I'm pretty happy. There's not too much. It's just going to hide the whole thing perfect. So we're going to put one on the top. One layer on the top. Kind of tie it half and half like this. And I'm not going to start the burnt orange yet on the belly. I'm going to put it a little bit back. So we're going to do a second one like this. Yeah, dumbbells. It is hard, because the problem with dumbbells is that sometimes you find a good brand and a good size that you like, and of course the next time that you want to order your dumbbells, they don't have them in stock, or they have a different brand or a different size. So I kind of stick. I think it's Vineyard that do them. They're kind of fairly simple. I think the 3.6 mil or something like that. And when I find some that I do like, I just buy a big pile of them, and I have loads. Like I buy like maybe 200-300 of them, and keep them in a box. But yeah, it is annoying and hard when you go from one brand to the next, and like you said, especially like you have lead, tungsten. I think these are tungsten anyway. Lead. I don't use lead anymore, and in Europe it's nearly impossible to find lead anymore. So, but yeah, these are about 3.6, I think. So spread your Congo all around, nice and even. If you get on the side, you get a kind of a bold patch. Just squeeze in from the side, move it a little bit, so you get a nice even spread all around. So now we're going to push it back. I'm going to build a little bit of thread at the back just to hold it. There you go, that's our first layer. So you see the Congo hair doesn't go further than the marabou. Okay, just you leave it at the eye level. You can trim it after anyway a little bit, give it a haircut like this. These are a little bit too straggly and long, but at the end we're going to give it a little cut like, and have it all sitting. So now we're going to start to alternate. We're going to do black on the top, and we're going to start with, I think it's root beer, this one. Let's call it root beer. Sounds nice too. Now this one for the belly, it doesn't need to be too long, so this one I'm actually one length. I'm going to cut it in 4, so I'm going to half it. And I'm going to half it again. That gives you it like kind of 4 section that size, that length. Even if I trim it, I like just to tease them a little bit. Just stop any straight or fibers looking the same. Having the same length is just not nice. So as you can see now, I have a good difference between the top and the bottom here. And a little bit of where you see the white thread. So all I have to do to cover that, I'm going to pinch the top and the bottom, the black and the root beer, and I'm going to start bringing them together a little bit. They're going to start meeting on the side of the shank like that. Give it a nice tight pinch. Same on that side. You see there's like a bold spot, so I'm going to pinch them like that. That's going to bring the two colors together and blend them a little bit as well. Like, yeah, DIY dumbbells, that'll be handy if you can do them yourself. Like, if you could stay away from lead, like, that'd be the best thing. Like, whatever material you use. And we're going to keep on going up to the tail, the end bit. It's just repeat now the process. One length, cut in 4. Alright, pinch. That method of layering top and bottom works well if you're tying bait fish with Congo hair as well. You don't want like that bold spot on the side when you do that, so pinching them and bringing them together like this is nice. Looks a lot more natural. Nearly there. One more. Yeah, one more that fell now. Probably. That's it. Now we just arrive at the dumbbell. No need to add any more. Whip finish behind the dumbbell. that you'll have your thread nice and protected at the back there. Stick it a little drop of glue. I'm leaving everything open. Alright, now just gonna give it a nice brush. Untangle all those fibers. I have a feeling if you're in a country where you have Wells catfish, I think that'll be a cracking fly for Wells catfish. They kind of like those big and loud flies. Okay, well, once we have that done, all we need to do is do a little bit of trimming. So it'd be great if I'd be left-handed for this, but I need to take it off the vise. Just gonna trim it. So a little bit tight just at the beginning of the arse there of its butt. At an angle. Go all around. Remove the excess. So we cut nice and tight around the end area like this. And then we gradually keep that angle going to the front. If you have some of the Congo hair are a little bit too long, just give them a little snip just at the end. It's basically a cone that you're making. There's so much you can do with Congo fibers. That's why I use them so much. Between sculpting it like this or using straight to make bait fish, that's really one of my favorite fibers. I've been using them for a long time and they always work for me. Alright, nearly there. That's about it. There you go. I just realized I made a mistake. I tied it with the hook down, but makes no difference. That's the way it should be. Hook up, eyes up to the hook shank. That'd be an upside down one. That's it. Not too difficult. It's all right. It's not. Take your time. Don't do like me. Tie it upside down. All right, guys. Let's see what do we have. Just want to look at my history. Not so bad. All right. Well, yeah. If you do find a link to this homemade dumbbells, definitely put it in the comment underneath the video, and so the rest of us can enjoy it. Wherever you find it, just go back to the video and put the link to it. It'd be interesting for everybody to see it. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. I wasn't expecting to have a few tonight because it was kind of short notice, but I just had a few hours, so I said I'll throw in a stream. Thank you very much for everybody who joined. Thanks for the subs. Squeeze that like button again, and I'll see you at the next one. So I'm having I'm busy for the rest of this month and the month of May. I think mid-May I'm starting guiding, so okay to post. Yeah, thanks Smart Mouth. That'd be handy, like everybody can watch that. I'm curious to see that as well. Like it'd be handy if you can make your own, definitely. So yeah, thank you very much. I'll be back on the water around June. I'll have a good bit of guiding to be done. June time seems to be busy. I have quite a few people who want to have a go at some river pikes, so that'll be interesting. So thank you very much for watching, for joining me once more. No problem, guys. Thanks again, and till the next stream. And looking forward to start to make some fishing videos as well. So it's been too long. I'm rigging that new Decathlon flood tube for the cameras at the moment. I'm gonna stick some Scotty mounts on it, and I'm looking forward to that. So that'll be the next bit of work that I can do here. So thanks very much, guys, and I'll catch you at the next one. Take care and goodbye.